Hi everyone, my name is April and today I would like to read a dramatic reading which is entitled The Wild Duck. I will read from page 28 to 34. So let's get started. The transcript for the dramatic reading is here. I have already saved it. And there are 6 characters in this dramatic reading which are Gregors, Whirl, Gino Erdel, Hedvig, Kraberg, and the last is Erdel. Now, how do you mean to use me? Use you? What an expression. Uh, then let us be nice in our choice of words, not when we are alone, at any rate. So that's it. So that was why. Curse it. I must come to town in person for the benefit of Mr. Sorby. A scene of family life is to be arranged. Table of father and son. That would be something new. How dare you speak in that tone? When was there any family life here? Not as long as I can remember, but now, a little of that sort of thing may come in useful. For it would look uncommonly well to have people talking of the son hurrying hither, on the wings of filial pity, to his old father's wedding feast. What then becomes of all the rumors of the poor, dead mother's sorrows and suffering? Nothing. Her son hurls them to the earth. Gregors, I don't believe there is a man on earth dislike as you do me. I have seen you too closely. You have seen me through your mother's eyes, but you should bear in mind that her eyes were dimmed at times. I understand what you mean, but who was to blame for mother's unhappy weakness? It was you and all this. The last of them was that woman who was foisted upon Halmar Ekdal, when you no longer. Word for word, as if I heard your mother. And there he is now with his great, unsuspecting child mind in the midst of deception, lives under the same roof with such a woman, and doesn't know that what he calls home is built upon a lie. When I look back upon all you have done, I seem to be looking over a battlefield with ruined human lives everywhere. I almost believe the gulf between us is too great. I have observed it, and so I will take my hat and go. Go? Leave the house? Yes, for now at last I have found a mission to live for. What mission may that be? You would only laugh if I told you. A lonely man doesn't laugh so easily, Gregors. See, father, the chamberlains are playing blind man's buff with Mr. Sorby. Good night and goodbye. He goes out at the back right. The laughter and merriment of the guests are heard in the outer room. Huh? Poor wretch. And yet he says he's not overstrained. Halmar Ekdal's studio. The room is fairly large. It is evidently at the top of the house. To the right of slanting roof with large panes of glass, half covered by a blue curtain. In the corner, to the right of the stage, is the entrance door. Lower down, on the same side, a door leading to the sitting room. At the back to the left, there are also 2 doors and iron stove between them. In the wall at the back, there is a wide sliding door, which can be pushed aside. The studio is plainly but comfortably arranged and furnished. Between the doors on the right, a little away from the wall, there is a sofa, with a table and a few chairs. On the table, a lamp with a shade. By the stove, an old armchair, all sorts of photographic apparatus and instruments and distributed about the room. In the back wall, To the left of the sliding door is the bookcase with a few books, and bottles of chemicals, instruments, tools, etc. Photographs and odds and ends, such as camel hair brushes, paper, and the like, lie on the table. Gina Erdel is sitting on a chair by the table, sewing. Hedvig is sitting on the sofa, her hands shading her eyes and her thumbs in her ears, reading a book. Hedvig doesn't hear her, and Gina says in a louder tone, Hedvig. Yes, mother? Dear Hedvig, you must not sit reading there any longer. Oh, but my mother, might not I read a little longer? Just a little bit? No. You must put the book away now. Your father doesn't like it. He never reads himself in evening. No, father doesn't bother much about reading. Can you remember how much the butter came to today? 1,965 or? That's right. It's awful the amount of butter we got through here, and then there was the smoked sausage and cheese. Let me see. And then there was the ham. Yes, it makes just. And then there's the beer. Yes, of course. It does run up, but it can't be helped. But then we didn't want a hot dinner as father was out. No, luckily. And then, besides, I took 8 crowns 50 or for the photographs. Fancy. So much as that? Exactly 8 crowns 50 or. A pause. Jenna takes up her work. Hedvig takes up paper and pencil and begins drawing something, shading her eyes with her left hand. Isn't it funny to think of father having a grand dinner at Mr. Rolls? You can't say he's dining with Mr. Whirl. You know it was his son who invited him. We've nothing to do with Mr. Whirl. I'm looking forward so to father coming home, for he promised he would ask Mr. Sorby for something nice for me. Yes, you may be sure there are plenty of good things in the house, and I'm just a little bit hungry too. Old Igdal, with a parcel of peppers under his arm and another in his coat pocket, comes in through the entrance door. How late grandfather is today? They both locked the office, had to wait with the crowd work, and then they let me pass out. Did they give you anything more to copy, grandfather? All this lot. Look. That is good. And you have a parcel in your pocket too. Oh, nonsense. That's nothing. This will find me in work for a long time. This will, Jaina. They are all asleep together in a bunch. And even she's got into the basket. Are you quite sure she's not caught in the basket, grandfather? What an idea. Cold? With all that straw? I suppose I shall find matches. The matches are on the chest of drawers. Ekto goes in the room. It is a good thing grandfather's got all the copying to do. Yes, poor old father, so he'll make a little pocket money for himself. And so he can't spend all this morning down there at the Harry Mrs. Erickson restaurant? That is true too. Do you think they are still at table? Goodness knows, but it's likely enough. Just fancy all the delicious things father will have for dinner. I'm sure he will be in good spirits and cheerful when he comes back. Don't you think he will, mother? Yes, but if we could only tell him, we would let the room. But there is no need to do that tonight. Oh, it will come in well enough, my dear, and it's not good to us. No, I mean we don't need it tonight because father will be in good spirits anyhow. We would better save up the room for another time. Are you glad to have something pleasant to tell father? when he comes home of an evening? Yes, for then he is much more cheerful. Oh yes, there's something in that. Old Ekto comes in again and is going out by the lower door left. Do you want anything in the kitchen, grandfather? I do, yes. Sit still. Goes out. Surely he's not racking about in the glowing embers. Havik to see what he's after. Ekto comes in again with a small jug of steaming water. Have you been getting warm water, grandfather? Yes, I have. Want it for something I have go to write, and the ink's as thick as porridge. But grandfather, you should have supper first. It's quite ready. Never mind about supper, Jaina. Have lots of work, I tell you. I won't have anyone come to my room. No one. He goes into his room. Jaina and Havik look at one another. Can you imagine where he gets the money from? No doubt he's got it from the grubber.